There have been some studies that have shown a link between social media usage and correlations to multiple things related to education. Several studies have been conducted to show all the various ways social media has been influencing educational outcomes with students. For us, our research, we wanted to show a link between social media usage and specifically a student's GPA. For that, our first reference was a study done in 2019 where data was showed that there were negative effects that correlated with a student's GPA and the amount of time they were on social media. Another article that was used was as reference from 2018 that showed within certain parameters social media usage did negatively impact a student's GPA score. From that direction, we decided that to come up with the hypothesis that hours spent on social media would negatively impact a student's GPA. The reason we thought that this was an important study to conduct was that the fact that social media isn't going away and exploration of this topic and how it impacts students is important because there is data that shows that there are negative effects on a student's grades. We decided that this was a good reason to conduct this study. For our method, we had collected data through a questionnaire that was done through the SONA system at ISU, which students had participated in for class credit. So in our data, we did exclude a few participants who did not answer the relevant questions on the questionnaire, or they did not answer the questionnaire the right way, meaning not in numerical form for these certain questions. We ended up using data from 40 participants to run our measures with. Our measures that we used to assess our variables was the time actively spent in social media, which was measured in hours per day. The next measure was grade point average, the cumulative grade point average, which was a 4.0 scale.
The results of the study show that there was a Pearson's R value of negative 0.246 and a p-value of 0.126. With the Pearson's R value being negative and under 0.3, it shows that there was a weak negative correlation between the two variables. The p-value being over 0.05 shows that there was not a statistically significant relationship between the two. With the results showing a non-significant, weak negative correlation, this means that as one of the variables goes up, the other one slightly decreases at a slight rate. This also means that we would fail to reject our null hypothesis in our study. These results reinforce Tefes's study, where they found that the students that spend more than 88.87 minutes a day on social media had a negative effect on GPA. In our study, the average social media usage per day was around 184.14 minutes. This is far past what they found to be negative correlated. As there is a slight connection between GPA and social media usage, but it is non-significant. There is no way to tell if one causes the other or not. However, it is beneficial to students as it shows a starting point to see if it does affect their GPA if they cut back on the number of hours they use social media each day. Just like all studies, this study does have a few limitations. One limitation is inaccurate reporting by participants. Since the questionnaire was online, it is possible that rather than looking up and reporting their exact usage, some participants may have just estimated the number of hours they spend on social media each day. Even if they were off by just a little bit, our results could have been skewed. Another limitation potentially affecting this study is the difference in time that people have been in college. If someone reported their cumulative GPA and they're in their 4th year of college, that shows much longer term data than if they are in their 1st year of college reporting their cumulative GPA. There's a lot of future research that could be done surrounding this topic. One area is diving deeper into how demographics of participants affect GPA. For example, does GPA differ depending on the participant's ethnicity or sex? This would help see if there are other factors that are affecting GPA. Another area that could be explored is whether social media usage affects the GPA of high school students more or less than the GPA of college students. This would give insight into differences between age, but also differences between participants who are mandated to be in school and those who have chosen to be in school. With the increasing popularity of social media among students, it is important to look into the effects it is having on the students. Using past studies, it was predicted that there would be a weak negative correlation between the time spent on social media daily and students' GPA. Results mirrored this prediction, although it was not significant. This helps provide insight into the role daily social media usage plays in influencing GPA.